Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone. On behalf of my teammates, I'll be presenting my paper with the title Giving to Non-Profit Organizations, What are the Predictable Drives? I'm Salwa Amirah Awang from Polytechnic of Sultan Azlan Shah, Tanjung Malim. Before we proceed, I'd like to give some introduction to what the non-profit organization is, or NPO. So the NPO can be defined as a charitable, voluntary, or social sector, and the international standard has classified 12 categories of NPO, which are culture, recreation, education and research, health, social services, environment, development and housing, law advocacy, philanthropic intermediaries, international activities, religion, professional associations, and union. Especially when dealing with a crisis, the NPO plays a vital role because they are established to provide public services to communities with different types of needs and interests. These different types of needs and interests are actually not covered by other categories of institutions such as the government or the for-profit organizations. For example, in Malaysia, when dealing with the pandemic of COVID-19, we can see a lot of NPOs have come forward to give different kinds of assistance to the people. Looking back to the history in Malaysia, the responsible body in providing welfare to the society was established in 1946 and was named as the Society Welfare Department. This department was put under the Ministry of National Unity and Society Development beginning from 27th of October 1990. Realizing the important role of family and women in nurturing a caring society, this department has been restructured to join force with the Ministry of Women, Family and Society Development on 27th of March 2004. Since then, the focus of welfare has been given to protect the welfare of the target groups such as children aged less than 18, disabled people, senior citizen, paupers, family, voluntary bodies, and catastrophe victims. There are two categories of NPO in Malaysia. The first one is those registered under CCM or Companies Commission of Malaysia as companies limited by guarantee. These NPOs must have at least 1 million ringgit revenue or more and being regulated under the Companies Act 1965. The second category is registered under ROS, or Registry of Societies Malaysia, under the Ministry of Home Affairs and is enacted by Societies Act of 1966. The NPOs that have less than 1 million are required to register with the ROS. Realizing its importance to the society, it is good to have a lot of NPOs. However, the problem is the number of NPO registered is increasing year by year, but most of them are experiencing the biggest challenge to raise adequate and enough funds to manage the organizations and to serve the needy, as they are very dependent on public money or donation from the public. The increasing trend is proven from the statistics of ROS itself, whereby we can see here there is an increasing trend of registration from 2016 until 2019, which also expected in 2020. Having seen the problem, a research is formulated to investigate the influencing factors that predict the act of giving towards NPO among Muslims in Malaysia especially. A review of literature has been done to gather information on the factors, which are then broken down into two categories. The first one is extrinsic factor, which comes under demographic as well as social demographic factors. They are age, gender, marital status, income, education, and tax. The second category is the intrinsic factor, which is altruism, trust, religiosity, and financial wellness. So these are the main references for intrinsic factor. For the part of methodology, this research is using the survey design with the instrument of a set of questionnaire, and the type of sampling is cluster sampling, and the population is Muslims in Malaysia. Why I choose Muslim in Malaysia? Because the majority of population in Malaysia are Muslims, and number of sample is 1034, and type of analysis logistic regression. The theoretical framework of this research is based on the theory of planned behavior, or TPB, which is the revised version of the TRA that shares the notion that a particular behavior is related with a person level of intention to predict the chances of performing the behavior. There are three important components of intention, which are attitude, that comprises of one's belief on the outcome of certain behavior and his or her evaluation of the outcome. The second component is the subjective norm, which is the social influence which a person believes that is expected from him or her by certain important individuals or groups of people to perform or not the behavior. And the third component is the perceived behavioral control, which is the how much control they have over performing a particular behavior. And the intention is the central factor that serves as the point that captures other influencing factors which determine the strength of willingness to perform the behavior. The conceptual framework of this study is actually an extended version of the TPB by inserting the other four elements of the intrinsic factors, which are altruism, trust, religiosity, and financial wellness. The data was analyzed using the logistic regression, and the fit of the model was measured through the omnibus and Hosmer and Lamshaw tests. The result in Table 1.1 shows that all models were found significantly fit according to the omnibus test. The Hosmer and Lamshaw test indicated that two models posited a good fit, which was model number 1 and number 4. The results of classification table in Table 1.2 summarizes that C-prop values of all models are between 66.6% to 67.3%, which are more than the cut-off value of 50%. This indicates that all models are able to explain the variance more than 60% of the actual behavior. 1.3 is a result of logistic regression analysis, and in all 5 models, we can see a consistent result whereby altruism and religiosity are found to be the significant predictor of giving to non-profit organizations. In the second model, by inserting the demographic variables, marital status is found to be the significant predictor, which means married people give more to the NPO. While in Model 3, by inserting the social demographic variables, education is found to be significant, which indicate that people with education give more to the non-profit organizations. In Model 4, tax is found to be significant predictor, and in Model 5, charity box is the only medium that is deemed to be efficient and effective in disseminating information about the non-profit organization. In conclusion, it is concluded that giving to non-profit organizations can be increased by identifying the specific target groups who are having the criteria of being religious and altruistic, married, and possess education. Non-profit organization marketers can also include the values of religiosity and altruistic to encourage donation as well as to highlight tax benefits. The medium of collection or information that is deemed to be efficient is charity box, thus the usage of this medium must be fully utilized. That's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.